Why can nothing travel faster than light? What makes 299,792,458 meters per second the ultimate speed limit of the universe? This isn't just a random number. It's the cosmic speed limit that governs everything from GPS satellites to the fate of galaxies. And understanding why this limit exists will change how you see reality forever. Let's start with a simple thought experiment. Imagine you're on a train moving at 100 kilometers per hour. You throw a ball forward at 20 kilometers per hour. To someone standing on the platform, how fast is the ball moving? Simple math tells us 120 kilometers per hour. The speeds add up. Now imagine you're on a spaceship moving at half the speed of light. You shine a flashlight forward. How fast is that light moving to someone standing still? Your intuition might say 1.5 times the speed of light. But you'd be wrong. The light still travels at exactly the speed of light, not a fraction faster. This is where Richard Feynman's insights become crucial. Feynman had a gift for explaining the most counterintuitive aspects of physics in ways that made sense. He showed that the speed of light isn't just fast. It's fundamentally different from all other speeds. Here's what Albert Einstein discovered in 1905. The speed of light is the same for everyone, regardless of how fast they're moving. This seems impossible, but countless experiments have confirmed it. And if the speed of light is constant, then something else must give. That something is space and time themselves. Feynman explained it this way. We live in a universe where space and time are not separate things. They're woven together into what we call space-time. When you move faster through space, you move slower through time. This isn't science fiction. It's measurable reality. Take GPS satellites, for example. They orbit Earth at about 14,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, time moves slightly slower for them than for us on the ground. We're talking about tiny fractions of a second per day. But if engineers didn't account for this time dilation, GPS coordinates would be off by several kilometers within a day. Your navigation would be useless. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. As you approach the speed of light, time dilation becomes extreme. Imagine a spacecraft traveling at 99% of light speed. 1 year passes for the astronaut inside. But back on Earth, 7 years have gone by. At 99.9% of light speed, the gap becomes even wider. 1 year for the astronaut equals 22 years on Earth. This is called the twin paradox. If one twin travels to a nearby star at near light speed and returns, they'll be decades younger than their sibling who stayed home. It sounds like a paradox, but it's been proven with atomic clocks on airplanes. The faster clock really does tick slower. But time dilation is just one consequence. Length contraction is another. As you approach light speed, distances in the direction you're traveling appear to shrink. At 99% of light speed, a journey that would normally be 10 light years long appears to be only 1.4 light years from your perspective. You'd experience the trip as much shorter than someone watching from a stationary frame. So why can't we reach or exceed light speed? Here's where Feynman's understanding of energy and mass becomes critical. As you accelerate an object with mass, you need to add energy. The faster it goes, the more energy is required to accelerate it further. But here's the catch. As you approach the speed of light, the energy requirement doesn't just increase, it approaches infinity. Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, reveals this relationship. Mass and energy are interchangeable. As you add energy to accelerate something, you're effectively increasing its mass. The closer you get to light speed, the more massive the object becomes from an external observer's perspective. To reach exactly light speed would require infinite energy. And infinite energy doesn't exist in our universe. Only massless particles, like photons, can travel at light speed. And they always travel at light speed. A photon doesn't accelerate from 0 to light speed. It's created at light speed and travels at light speed until it's absorbed. From the photon's perspective, no time passes at all. The journey from a distant star to your eye happens in 0 time for the photon itself. Feynman loved to point out the strange implications of this. Light doesn't experience time. To a photon, the entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the heat death, trillions of years in the future, is a single instant. It exists outside of time in a way we can barely comprehend. But there's another reason why faster than light travel is impossible. It has to do with causality, the relationship between cause and effect. If you could travel faster than light, you could theoretically send information into the past. You could receive a message before it was sent. This creates logical paradoxes that would break the consistency of the universe. Imagine this scenario. You send a signal faster than light to a distant spaceship. The spaceship, which is moving relative to you, sends a signal back, also faster than light. Due to the relativistic effects, the return signal could arrive before you sent the original message. You'd be receiving a reply before you asked the question. This violates the fundamental principle that effects follow causes. Some scientists have speculated about hypothetical particles called tachyons that always travel faster than light. But tachyons have never been detected, and most physicists believe they can't exist. Their existence would create insurmountable paradoxes. What about wormholes and warp drives? These are theoretical concepts that don't violate relativity because they don't involve moving faster than light through space. Instead, they involve bending or compressing space itself. A wormhole would create a shortcut through space-time. A warp drive would contract space in front of a ship and expand it behind, allowing the ship to effectively cross vast distances without moving faster than light relative to the space around it. Unfortunately, both concepts require exotic matter with negative energy density, something we've never observed and may not exist. They remain purely theoretical. For now, the speed of light remains an unbreakable barrier. Feynman emphasized that nature doesn't care about our desires or our imagination. The universe operates by strict mathematical laws. The speed of light limit isn't arbitrary. It emerges from the fundamental structure of space-time itself. It's baked into the fabric of reality. But here's the truly mind-bending part. The speed of light isn't just the speed of light. It's the speed of causality, the maximum rate at which cause and effect can propagate through the universe. Gravity also travels at light speed. If the sun suddenly vanished, Earth would continue orbiting for 8 more minutes before gravitational effect reached us. In quantum field theory, which Feynman helped develop, every force is mediated by particles. The electromagnetic force is carried by photons. These force carriers can't exceed light speed. This means no interaction, no information, no influence can propagate faster than light. It's a fundamental constraint on how the universe works. So when we talk about the speed of light, we're really talking about the speed of reality itself. It's the rate at which the present becomes the past and the future becomes the present. It's the cosmic speed limit that ensures cause always precedes effect and that time flows in one direction. Feynman once said, "I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something." We can say light travels at 299,792,458 meters per second. We can memorize that number. But to truly understand what it means requires grappling with relativity, with space-time, with the relationship between mass and energy. It requires accepting that the universe is far stranger than our everyday experience suggests. The speed of light is more than a cosmic speed limit. It's a window into the deepest truths about reality. It tells us that space and time are flexible, that simultaneity is relative, that the present moment is different for different observers. It reveals that the universe has a structure and logic that transcend our intuitions. And that's the beauty of physics. It takes us beyond what we can see and touch and feel. It shows us the hidden rules that govern everything. Richard Feynman spent his life uncovering those rules and sharing them with the world. His legacy reminds us that understanding the universe is not just possible, but deeply rewarding. So the next time you turn on a light or use your GPS, remember what's really happening. You're experiencing the consequences of relativity. You're interacting with the fundamental speed limit of the universe. And you're touching, however briefly, the profound mysteries that Feynman and Einstein revealed. Why is light speed the limit? Because reality itself is built on that foundation. Because space-time has a structure that demands it. Because the universe, in all its elegance and complexity, operates by rules we're still learning to comprehend. And that's what makes it so incredibly fascinating.